want to start by telling me what Katie was like growing up?
Katie couldn't wait to come out when I was pregnant with her. I had two of them in there, and Kelsey was very, like, she was right under my heart, and she just laid there and didn't move around very much or anything. And Katie was like, I want out of here. And she, when I got, when it was time to deliver, she was supposed to come out first, and Kelsey was pushing her out of the way, and they they had to take him C-section, and so Katie was born second. So she was the littlest one, and she was a full pound lighter than Kelsey. So she was really little, and I was kind of scared of her when she was born. Like I was afraid I'd break her or something. She was we clashed. She was her daddy's girl, and she was very much like me.
Can you tell me more about the accident the night that she did die?
I had been out for a run that day in Florida, and when I came in, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and there was a message on my phone from my ex-husband, and I knew that couldn't be good news. But I wasn't thinking that at all. So I called him, and he said, there's been an accident, and I was like, what happened? And I can't even describe how that feels when someone tells you that. And he said, well, it was Katie. And I said, is she hurt? And still, not even thinking, is she in jail? What's going on? And he said she didn't make it. And I was just like, I'll call you back. So I flipped out, and evidently what had happened is she had been out drinking. Kelsey, like I said, was pregnant, and Kelsey was waitressing at this bar that they hung out at all the time. And Katie had been there that night, and they had argued because she didn't want Katie. Whenever one of them was trying to do good, they wanted the other one to. Whenever one was doing bad, they wanted the other one to. I mean, they were just really enmeshed. And so Kelsey was mad at Katie because Katie was going out drinking and was already, I guess, really drunk. And she went to this other bar right down the street, and they served, they just served them regardless of how drunk they were. And when it came time to leave, witnesses said that, they were both arguing about who should drive because both of them were too drunk to drive. They let him get in the car. And they lived out in the country, and I guess, like, there's a hill and some railroad tracks, and they went over the hill and the tracks, and the car went airborne, and I guess they were going like 70 to 80 miles an hour, and it hit this tree. There's a piece of the tree that I have in there. It just really, it was a huge tree. And she went right through the windshield, and she died instantly, and he didn't have any injuries at all.
How did your life change after that?
Well, I had been going to counseling before that because of my relationship with my kids. I didn't ever feel like I was a good mom, from before they were born. And I felt like I was going to screw them up and everything. And then when I got sober, I just really did not want them to go down that road, and they did. And I went back out because of it. It wasn't their fault, but I just couldn't deal with, with the fact that they were using and drinking and stuff like that. One of the hardest things, besides losing my daughter, first of all, I didn't know how to put any of this into words, so I couldn't really talk about it to people. But I had never felt like that powerless, like there was nothing I could do to change it. And then to watch my other daughter suffer, because it was like a part of her died. I don't think she thought that she could go on without her. I was in a relationship with a man in Florida, and we had like quite the wild lifestyle. It was a lot of fun and everything, and I uh, I just I didn't have any joy anymore. Do you know what I mean? I still don't feel like I really do, um, because when I went to my counselor, what I told her was, I think in the back of my head, I always thought that if I tried hard enough and did a good enough job, that things would work out okay. You know, everything would be okay. And when Katie died, it was like, I guess things really don't ever all be okay. I don't know, I can't really explain it, but that's how my life changed. And I quit taking care of myself. I gained a bunch of weight that I've never lost. Um, the man that I was involved with was very superficial, and our relationship was based on mutual attraction to each other, and I wasn't attractive anymore. I quit cutting my hair. I didn't cut my hair for 3 years, um, and I rarely brushed it. My sister was like, "Are you ever going to brush your hair?" And I was just like, "I don't know. Maybe I'm going to go with dreads or something, you know." Um, but Kelsey and I talked about, you know, that we could use this to destroy us, or we could use this to try to make us better people. And I made my decision, she made hers, and we both decided that we were going to try to be better people as a result of what had happened. And so we did. And we have. I didn't get sober right away at all, but I believe that that helped me get to a hopeless state a lot quicker than I might have. I might not have ever gotten sober again. And Kelsey's sober too. So.
So what would you want someone to understand about either about drinking and driving or alcoholism? What have you learned in that aspect from this?
Um, you know, I don't know that I've learned a ton or anything, but what I can tell you is pretty much what uh, I said at the victim impact statement, you know, thing at the sentencing hearing was, uh, I believe that alcoholism is an illness, and you know, make good decisions when you've been drinking. So you could say, don't drink and drive, you know. But if it were that simple, I mean, I drove drunk after that accident, you know. That's how insane that disease is. You would think I would have never wanted to drink again, and that I would not have ever gotten behind the wheel of a car drunk, you know. But at the victim impact statement, I told that kid, I was like, I know you did not get in that car with the intent to hurt yourself or anyone else. I know that. I can't even imagine what he must have been feeling sitting on the side of the road that night with my dead daughter lying by him. And it could have been me driving, you know, unfortunately. It could have been Katie. And I think, and what I told him, and this is what I believe, if something like that happens, you damn well better pay the consequences. You know, don't sit here and say my daughter was driving. That's what he tried to do in the beginning. And I was like, if this was the other way around, I would expect Katie to stand here and say, I did it. What's my punishment? You know, and or myself. You know, if you're gonna dance, you gotta pay the piper, kind of a deal. And the other thing I told him is that, you know, you'll never know what this is like. I hope you never do. Because every time I drive down the road and I see one of those crosses on the side of the road where someone's been hit, it's my daughter. I never got a chance to mend that relationship. It's gone. You know, I can't, there's nothing I can do about that now. I can only live my life in a way that I hope would have mended the relationship if she was still here.
What would you want to say to a parent who has also lost their child because of alcoholism or drunk driving?
You can lay down and die over it, or you can go on and live your life. And I guess the other thing that I could share with somebody who's going to have to go through this in the future is that you will get to know this pain, and it won't kill you. When it first happened, I'd never felt anything like this before. I'd been sad. My grandma died, and I loved her so much. But there's something different about it when it's your kid. It just never goes away. You start to talk to somebody about it, and it's like it just happened again. But now I'm like, oh yeah, I know you. I know you pain. I've felt you. I've felt this powerlessness before, and it's a part of me. It's a part of me, and it's how I honor her. But it doesn't define who I